Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We meet again in our Science Year 3 class with Cikgu Salbia. I hope all of you feeling good and happy to learn today. Now, we are going to proceed our science lesson on the topic is manipulative skills. You can refer your textbook page 15. Now, are you ready? Good. Let's go. Our theme is still in Inquiry in Science and content standard is manipulative skills. And our learning standard is number 1, use and handle apparatus and science substances correctly. Number 2, handle specimens correctly and carefully. And number 3, sketch specimens, apparatus, and science substances correctly. Number 4, clean science apparatus correctly. And number 5 is store science apparatus and substances correctly and safely. Okay. Based on our learning standard, how many manipulative skills? Yes, there is 5 manipulative skills. Okay, and our objective for today is at the end of the lesson, pupils can state at least 2 manipulative skills correctly, and then pupils can sketch correctly. Okay, are you ready? Good. Manipulative skills. What is manipulative skills? Manipulative skills refer to psychomotor skills used in a scientific investigation. If you are playing with your friend, that is not a scientific investigation. So, based on the picture, what are the manipulative skills do you observe in the situation above? Can you name it? Okay, it's okay. We go one by one. What is psychomotor skill? Psychomotor skill is, it includes physical movement, our body movement, coordination or hands-on. Kemahiran psychomotor libatkan pergerakan fizikal. Maksudnya penggunaan anggota badan kita, koordinasi dan juga hands-on. Yang kita lakukan lah, itu hands-on. And it use muscular action. We use our muscle, menggunakan otot kita. And to develop of these skills, it is requires practice. Jadi untuk mahir manipulative skill, we need to practice. And don't forget, manipulative skills is used in a scientific investigation. Okay, the first one, we are going to go through one by one. The first one is use and handle apparatus and science substances correctly. We are going to combine with number 2, which is handle specimens correctly and carefully. You can refer to your textbook, page 16. Science apparatus. Okay, this is some example of science apparatus, which is the beaker, conical flask, and magnifying glass. There is so many science apparatus in science room. Okay, I got 3 examples for science apparatus for today. Okay, look at the picture. This is the situation which is the students or the pupils are going to catch a grasshopper at their school. The conversation between Lim and his friend. Lim, how can I catch a grasshopper? Oh, try using a net. Net is apparatus, science apparatus. So, Lim are going to use net to catch a grasshopper. So, we need to use the apparatus, which is, for example here, the net correctly. Bila nak tangkap belalang, kita boleh gunakan jaring ataupun perangkap dia ni. Okay, kita kena gunakan dengan cara yang betul. Okay, and then I will put the grasshopper in this jar if I catch one. So, the student, the pupils, ready, prepare the jar to put the grasshopper if they can catch one. Can the captured grasshopper breathe in a closed jar? Lim asked his friend, boleh ke grasshopper tu nak bernafas in a closed jar? Okay, look at the jar. This is apparatus. The jar is closed. How can the grasshopper breathe in the closed jar? So, the correct way is we need to his friend said, in that case, I will cover the top of the jar with a piece of cloth with holes. Look at the cloth. It got holes on it. These holes is used to make sure there is an air go into the jar. And the grasshopper can breathe and can live in the jar. So this is the correct way in using an apparatus and also handle specimen. Grasshopper is a specimen. Jadi, bila kita nak menggunakan spesimen hidup, live specimen, for example, here is grasshopper, we need to make sure the lid or the penutup itu mestilah mempunyai lubang supaya grasshopper itu dapat bernafas. That is handle specimen. Okay, can you understand? Okay, good. Now, Kina, what did you catch? Her friend asked Kina. I caught a grasshopper. So, Kina can caught one grasshopper. And then she put in the jar. This is, for example, the jar that we can use, which is it has some holes at the lid. Ini adalah contoh balang yang kita boleh gunakan, yang ada lubang-lubang. Bila ada lubang, mestilah belalang tu dapat bernafas. Jadi ini adalah handle specimen. The correct way to handle specimen. Okay, how many grasshopper you need? Kina answer just one. So, this is the good example of handle specimen. When we are going to do an investigation, we just need one. So, you catch one only. Do not catch many grasshopper and then you play with it. And grasshopper maybe die of your activity. That's not the correct way to handle the specimen. And then Kina put a leaf inside the jar for the grasshopper to eat. So, if there is the leaves, so the grasshopper got food to eat, it means the grasshopper will not die. So, that is the correct way in handling specimen. We prepare the food for the live specimen. Jadi bila kita gunakan benda hidup, maka kita sediakan food, makanan untuk dia. Jadi ini adalah cara yang betul untuk mengendalikan spesimen hidup. Okay, next. How to measure liquid. Macam mana nak menyukat cecair. Ini adalah contoh. This is an example. We use the beaker. We pour the liquid using the mouth of the beaker. Right? We go to our third manipulative skill, which is sketch specimens, apparatus and science substances correctly. Sketch adalah melakar. Jadi melakar spesimen, alatan dan juga bahan sains dengan betul. This is our third manipulative skills. What is sketching? Sketching is a method to record information in form of a diagram. Adalah satu cara untuk merekodkan maklumat dalam bentuk gambar rajah. That we call sketching. The sketch should be clear, jelas, accurate, tepat and label. Mesti dilabel. Okay, for example, I have sketched the grasshopper. Teacher asked me to sketch this grasshopper. So this is the sketch of the grasshopper. And then we must label it. Okay, for another example, you can refer to your textbook, page 18, sketching a beaker. When you are going to sketch a beaker, you draw 3 lines and then you make the curve at the joint here, at the bottom and at the above. And next, you draw a meniscus of water, the symbol of meniscus of water, which is it has the curve at the end of the beaker and it should be labeled, which is this is beaker and this is solution. Setiap gambar rajah diagram mestilah dilabel. Okay, next, how to sketch a test tube. Macam mana nak melakar tabung uji? Quite same with how to sketch a beaker, but the difference is test tube is smaller than beaker. So, draw 3 lines and then make a curve at the end of the junction. Third, you draw the stopper. And this is the last one, the finished diagram. And it should be labeled. This is stopper, this is test tube, and in the test tube there is solution. So you must remember, when you are sketching, you must label. Okay, use me to draw straight lines. So this is ruler. Don't forget, when you are sketching, the ruler is, you must use a ruler. You cannot draw in free hands. Okay, the fourth one is clean science apparatus correctly and then store it correctly and safely. After completing a science investigation, we must clean, dry and store science apparatus correctly. Yes. Now, let's do some activities. The first one, I want you to write down this note in your science note, which is 5 manipulative skills. Number 2, sketch the following. You sketch the beaker in 1 page and then sketch the test tube in 1 page. You can refer your textbook, page 18 and 19. Next, you open your activity book, page 10, and answer the question also in page 11. Read first the instruction, tick the right methods, and cross the wrong methods. So, I hope all of you can finish our work and can understand what have been learned today. Till we meet again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.